And thank you for joining today's webinar entitled Rover and Zest Enhancements, the ID Collection Update. I'm your host, Justin Derisi, the Customer Marketer here at Stay in Touch. Today's webinar will be presented by Tyrus McGlone, the Stay in Touch Implementations Consultant. Today's presentation will cover how you can get the most out of the Rover 5.0 product release, which became effective on December 19th, 2018. This update builds out the ID scanning and collection capabilities of Rover and Zest. It also covers new auto charge, the new auto charge screen, and some important updates to our billing and invoicing functions. Specifically, in this webinar, you'll learn how to manage ID scanning and collection during the check-in for both Rover PMS and Zest Station, access a new auto charge screen to review all reservations that are being auto-checked out, add email invoices to the activity log so that hotel users know when invoices are being sent, display unique AR invoice numbers and other mandatory fields to comply with EU compliance requirements, and reprocess an auto charge deposit in case one or all of the transactions have been declined. This topic was actually a holdover from December's webinar. We will have a short Q&A session at the end of the presentation, and feel free to submit questions throughout the presentation. We will then answer them in the order that they were received at the end. And that's all I have for right now, Tyrus. I'm going to hand the presentation over to you.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Justin kindly mentioned, my name is Tyrus McGlone. I am the consultant here at Stay in Touch. So today I want to go over with you, as you mentioned, first I want to start with the auto charge deposit screen. As you mentioned, it is a handover from our December webinar. And also we created a new tab on the auto charge deposit screen, which is a auto checkout. So before I dig deep into the functionality of it, I'll simply go to my settings here. And just to ensure your auto charge deposit is turned on, once you go to settings, you'll proceed to wholesale and staff and settings and parameters. And you always want to make sure this option here where it says auto charge, that this is turned on. If this is not turned on, no matter how many deposits you have, whether they're attached to any rate code, you will not have the ability for that auto charge deposit to work. So again, you will just proceed to menu, settings, hotel and staff, settings and parameters. You want to ensure that this is turned on for auto charge deposit. Now I'll simply go to a few reservations that I created, just to test reservations that have credit cards on file, and many of them have declined due to the auto charge deposit. So I will by going to financials, and there's an option that says auto charge. I'll proceed to auto charge. Now this will give me charges. As you can see, the day's date in the top left hand corner for January 4th. I do not have any deposits that have approved or declined today. However, I will backdate this. I'll go to the first and the second. As you can see, I have a few reservations that have deposits that have never been taken. So I'll simply click on, I can click on having a deposit, which is a reservation here. As you can see, the deposit has not been taken as of yet. I'll close this. If I go to deposit balance, you can also see that this deposit due date was on the 1st of January in this yellow tab here. So again, to see a list of deposits that have been declined, approved, or all deposits, I'll simply go back to menu, financials, auto charge, and I'll go to whatever day in which I'm searching for specifically for that auto charge. And for the previous reservation I just showed, it was on the 1st of January. Now, if I want to take these deposits or take these reservations and reprocess them, I can simply select the checkbox here, and I can process the selected. And shortly I should get a, yes, shortly now I should get this message that says auto charge deposit. I'm sorry, deposit auto charge is being processed. Please check back at a later time. Now, because of the card that I use for these reservations, I do know that this card will constantly decline because it is a test card. But for future references, if you guys have any reservations that have deposits that have declined, you can simply go to the auto trust deposit screen and reprocess them. Now, the second tab I wanted to mention for the auto trust deposit, if you look in the right-hand portion of my screen, you will see EOD checkout. EOD checkout is simply a tab that we have just created, which allows you to simply have reservations that have credit cards on file, and they will actually check out automatically at the end of the day. So I'll proceed to the 3rd of January. And it looks like I did have one reservation that was automatically checked out, departure date for January. So again, if you have a credit card on file, and it all happens. Let's say, for example, if I'm working at the front desk and perhaps the team is really busy and they forget to check someone out. Again, this end of day process will automatically check a reservation. Again, this is only if you have a credit card on file. Next, I would like to go over would be the actual the AR invoice numbers. So many of you guys create AR invoice numbers all the time when it comes to company and travel agency cards. Due to a lot of properties in Europe and some countries, some properties here in the United States now, you may have mandatory fields that maybe require a country requirement, or there's a property-specific requirement in order for you to create a company AR account number. So I will proceed to menu, settings, and you have the card option here, and then you have the company CA mandatory fields. If I select mandatory on AR number creation, you will have a drop down of all of these demographics. So you have the address line, number 1, city, postal code, country, contact phone number, tax ID, and E-Invoice. So whether you toggle any of these items on, again, this could be property specific, or it could be a country requirement when creating an AR account number. I can simply save these. Now, when creating a company and travel agency card now with AR account number, it will not allow you to save or create an account number if you have not adhered to these particular request lines here. So again, if I create a company account number and I do not have address line, city, postal code, country, contact phone number, email address, it will not allow me to create an AR account number. I would also like to go over with you the email invoice to activity logs. So this happened numerous times, even in my hospitality background. There have been several cases where a guest may check out, and we're unsure if we send actual emails or folio emails to that particular guest. So one thing I will do is I've created a test reservation, which is already checked out under Tyrus McClone. Now, again, this reservation has been checked out. As you can see, I have an email address here on file. You can see that here in the guest card. If I go down to the activity log, show details, you can see that this folio was sent, a checkout email was sent to this particular email address, and it looks like I only had one folio, one bill, just bill number 1, and this was sent to my particular email at 11:49 a.m. today. Next, I would like to go over something a little more in detail. It's the ID scanning and facial recognition of Rover PMS and its station. So I'm going to go to a PowerPoint presentation that I have prepared for everyone. So many of our customers, you guys are using desktops and utilizing Rover. You may have iPads, well, iPad apps in which you're utilizing Rover, or you may even have the Zest station using the iPad. So the ID scanning allows you to pretty much scan guest ID, whether it's a driver's license or passport. If it's a driver's license, of course, you can scan the front and back. If it's a passport, of course, you will only scan that one particular passport identification page. So cost for this actual ID scan facial recognition has yet to be determined. However, we will get back with you on the actual cost for that. You will probably have this cost communicated with you via the CSM or your CSM or a sales representative. So hardware specifics. Hardware will pretty much remain the same. There's nothing additional that you need other than a potential external camera. With that being said, if you're using an actual desktop or iPad, you can simply use the iPad external camera that's built into your iPad. If you have an external camera for an external document camera, you're more than welcome to use that as well. I will show you on the next slide an external camera that we recommend for uploading IDs and uploading documents. So this is the camera that we actually suggest right now, and I'll be more than willing to send you a link for this particular camera, in which if anyone needs to order, we do suggest this. Of course, if you have another preference, you're more than welcome to use that as well. But this camera is an external identification camera in which you can pretty much plug in a USB port to your actual desktop. Functionality. Once the ID scan parameters are turned on, the scan option will be available for the stay card on the reservation. So this will basically give you the ability to add the front and the back of the guest ID or a single page of the guest passport. I've included a screenshot here. Basically, you could go, this is the actual guest stay card. And again, it gives you the option to add the guest ID. So there's a functionality here where you see guest ID missing. If you have any accompanied guest on your actual reservation, you can include a mandatory option to have an ID for all guests, not just the primary guest. You can also include any accompanied guest to that to the guest ID scan. Again, this is just a diagram of the front and back of the image. Again, if you have a driver's license, I would suggest doing the front and the back. If you're using a passport only, perhaps you will only need the front image, which is that single page of your passport. Once the image has been loaded, data will populate on the left-hand side of the guest ID details. So the naming information, the date of birth, the identification number or passport number will populate manually, automatically for you. And again, this will go for the primary guest as well as the accompanied guest. Now, Zest Station. Zest Station very much similar to the Rover PMS ID upload. So with Zest Station, of course, many of our clients may have actual kiosks. With that being said, you can still upload your guest ID. However, we've also included the facial recognition. With that being said, for an example, if I were to go into a property and I upload my driver's license, it will also require facial recognition or approval from an actual staff member at the hotel. If I upload my driver's license or my passport, you have the option to either select approval from a staff or facial recognition approval. Basically, that facial recognition will match the ID that I have uploaded. By chance, if that facial recognition does not match the ID that I have uploaded, the guest will be prompted to see a hotel representative for further assistance, and they will get a failure message. And again, these are the parameters that you would see while set up on your actual Zest station. So again, you have the option to scan with staff verification or scan with facial recognition. And thank you, Justin. I've addressed all topics, and I will hand it back to you.
Well, thank you very much, Tyrus, for that insightful presentation. I understand we had a little bit of some audio issues previously. I wanted to apologize for that. What we will do is review the recorded version and to make sure that those issues are cleared up when we send out the on-demand version. That being said, I would like to turn the floor over for questions. Remember, you can submit questions through the question box in the middle of the control panel. So the first question we have deals with the email activity log. And this person asks, once the checkout folios are sent, can we resend them?
Yes, great question, Justin. So yes, the answer to that question, you can certainly resend a folio once that reservation has been checked out. I'll simply go to the previous reservation that I tested. And you would simply go to the billing charges, the actual blue invoice tab, and you have the option to either email the folio or actually print it out if the guest is in front of you. But once you check out a reservation and it automatically sends that email, you can go back and resend it.
Excellent. The next question actually deals with ID scanning. And the questioner asks, is the external camera the only way to load an ID into Rover?
Great question. So no, the external camera is simply a way to load if you choose to connect it to your actual desktop, whether it's a MacBook or actual PC. Again, this is an external camera that can be connected via USB drive. You can still upload if you're using the iPad. You can upload by taking a picture with the iPad camera, or if you have an actual scanner. You know, some hotels may prefer a scan method if the guest is in front of them to place the ID on file. You can actually scan that image and have it sent to your computer that way. But the external camera is not the only method of uploading images to the actual guest profile.
Excellent. We actually have an additional question, and this comes from Marilu. And she asks, what does the E-Invoice option do in the account section if we choose to make it mandatory?
Great question. Again, so when you're creating a company or a travel agency card, I'll go back to the section here. Again, I'm just going to go to settings, cards, and COTA mandatory fields. Any of these fields that I have turned on, if you're creating a actual company or travel agency card, of course, you're going to need an AR account number, specifically for direct bill purposes and billing purposes in general. During the AR account creation, it will not allow you to create an AR account number if you choose to turn on either of these mandatory fields and you do not fulfill them. So again, for example, if I were to try to create a travel agency card or a company card, and I fail to put the city or the postal code or the address number one line and the actual contact information, the actual AR creation will fail.
Excellent. I don't see any additional questions, but I'll give everyone a few seconds if they have any last-minute questions. It doesn't look like we do. As always, you can... Oh,
yes, I'm sorry, Justin.
Sure.
I would just like to, of course, mention again, for those of you that may be interested in the external camera, I will be more than willing to send that link along. So anyone, you know, again, if you choose to order the external document camera, you can certainly order that for Rover ID scanning.
Excellent. Since there are no more questions, I would like to take the floor just to... Oh, actually, we do have one last question. This is from Andrew, and Andrew asks, why did you change the way reports display via the reports inbox?
I'm sorry, Andrew. Could we get further clarification on the way they display?
I think he's asking, why did you change the way? Why did Stay in Touch change the way reports display in the reports inbox?
So Andrew, if you're referring to the report inbox and the new inbox functionality, again, this is something that was done after the AWS migration, but it's basically a smoother way of running reports in the background. Several clients have had issues with reports running and the system freezing. So it actually runs in the background in a smoother process, and there's now report inbox for reports being stored.
Excellent. And it looks like Andrew is satisfied with that answer. So we have another question again from Marilu. Will they be doing an AR details report in the near future?
Honestly, I am not certain of that. However, if you would like to maybe put in a feature request, I'm not sure what details you would like to see on the AR report. However, if you can create a feature request, and we'll be more than happy to review that. You can do that by going to your Freshdesk portal.
Excellent. And with that, that does conclude the presentation. I would just like to take the floor for a second to offer a few final thoughts. Today we covered quite a bit about our new ID scanning function. We covered how to manage ID scanning and collection during the check-in for both Rover and Zest. We covered how to access a new auto charge screen, how to add email invoices to the activity log, how to display unique AR invoice numbers, and how to reprocess an auto charge deposit in case one or all of the transactions were declined. What does this all mean in total? You will get more seamless mobile ID scanning, giving you more convenience for your guests and more security for your hotel. With that, I'd like to conclude our presentation. I want to thank you all for coming, and I want to thank Tyrus again for giving a great presentation. If you have any additional questions, feel free to email me at jderisi@stayintouch.com. That's JDERISE@stayintouch.com. Thank you very much.